Dr. Abnish Chauhan, an author, a poet, an editor, a critic, an educator. He wears many hats. Dr. Abnish Chauhan is an English professor at SRM University. Passionate about the languages, he has many bilingual works to his credit. He is the author of path-breaking books like The Fictional World of Arun Joshi, Paradigm Shift in Values, Speeches of Swami Vivekananda and Subhash Chandra Bose, A Comparative Study, and many more. With extraordinary command and finesse over both Hindi and English, Abnish Chauhan has translated 30 poems of S. Gautam Anurag under the title Burns Within from Hindi into English, and many poems of Paddy Martin from English into Hindi. Ms. Falguni Vasavada, our next guest in the panel today, is someone who's synonymous with knowledge, versatility, and charm. She is a professor of advertising and marketing at MICA and chairperson of their online programs. She is a visiting faculty at Southern Illinois University, Carbondale in USA, and at several other premier institutes like NIT, EDI, IRMA, NIRMA, and IIM Indore. A self-confessed social media addict, she holds women's issues and writings very close to her heart and influences many through her writing. She understands the nuances of social media and the art of storytelling through the digital media. Her blog, falgunivasavada.com, draws many readers and starts conversations that leave an indelible impact. Versatility being her middle name, she's also a fashionista who doles out practical style tips on her Facebook page. With much eagerness, we look forward to hear her interesting inputs and insights on online readership and its impact on print content. Mr. Manoj Jena. Behind the serene and smiling face is a man of grit and resolve. Someone who champions the rights of the downtrodden and gives a voice to the voiceless. Manoj Kumar Jena is a much respected face in Odisha mass media. His column in Odisha Daily, The Dharitri, was extensively read and created ripples of awareness in the Odisha social and political structure. Currently, he is one of the most revered journalists at Enadu Television. We welcome him and look forward to hear his take on the impact of growing online readership on print content. Mr. Sanket Joshi, armed with an MBA in International Marketing from the prestigious Oxford Brookes University and having studied investment management from London Business School, strategy, business acumen, and communicating right is second nature to him. With his steely resolve and sharp understanding of business and industry, he played an important role in setting up and building ICICI Bank's presence in international markets. He spearheaded ICICI Bank's flagship partnership with Lloyds TSB Bank in the UK. He has also been a Senior Associate Director managing global clients at Standard Chartered Bank UK and has worked with SP Jain Institute of Management as a faculty member. Weaving business acumen with digital communication, he is the CEO of Sayahi.com and eFinancialConnect.com, two of the largest niche digital networks of the World Wide Web. Please welcome Mr. Joshi. And finally, to conduct this session with aplomb, we have with us Shally Modi as the moderator of this session. She is the co-founder and language head at Pratilipi, the fastest growing self-publishing and reading platform for Indian language and literature. Maverick and multi-talented, languages are not her only love. She has worked with DHL and Vodafone India earlier and comes armed with a dual post-graduation in marketing and MSc biotechnology. Mind you, she's a gold medalist. We look to you to strike a session with our followers here. Thank you.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks a lot for sharing the dais with such dignitaries. So, yeah, 3 disclaimers earlier before I start any conversation with you, respected ladies and gentlemen. So, we have been good mixture of people here, right? So I would be directing questions to each of you individually so that we can learn a lot from each of them, right? Perspective really. Secondly, meanwhile, by having the conversation, if any of us switch to any other language, that's perfectly fine because that's pretty much what we do, right? Being facility and all that. So, and the third thing, meanwhile, if you see in between that we are digressing anywhere, put me back on track. Yeah. So, Sanket, first question goes to you. So, being in the space, right? Yeah, so how do you see Shally, for that matter, or any other online media publishing platform, bringing values for aspiring writers and readers? And how do you see the future down the line, 5 years, let's say?
Personally, I'm very scared if some Modi asks me a question. Shally.com as Pratilip has been working in the same direction. We have come a long way. Our readership has grown as you know, in the last 3 years from about 100 a month to about 10,000 a month, and it's gradually growing. The problem we face actually is not people don't want to read, it's technology and it's internet bandwidth. And the major growth constraint I feel is infrastructure. So for example, if I want to read a story and it's a huge PDF file, I won't be able to download it. Many people won't be able to download it, they don't have data connection. And such issues are massive. So I foresee a lot of constraints in the growth of this industry. But it's growing at a pace where we are happy. We are content and we see a future market here, like, there is a growing market. People want to read new content and technology provides that access to everybody who can write and share. And we are there existing and growing with the technology pace right now.
I'd like to add a point. Recently, as I am belong from Odisha, recently an incident happened. Fire broke out at a hospital, private hospital. At least 30 people died in that incident. So what happened? Before, as we people are working in television media, and we have lot of access to our sources. But what happened? Suddenly found that most of the contents are coming in the online. Whether it may be true or false, that we got the first news from online. So it's only possible because of the gadgets. Young chaps, they are using so widely. That's why that has been widely accepted. And so my point is, as the coming days, it will have more impact than print media, even also television media.
Yeah, so continuing the discussion forward, I would like to have your viewpoints here. I have pretty much good questions from you because I really want to learn a lot from you. But can you just
Yeah, I completely justify because I was seeing this social media video which said that no longer we go to find news has a way to find us. So there are figures which are proving what is said. Online as it is on a rise, internet penetration is on a rise, people are shifting from feature phones to smartphones and that's where technology is becoming an enabler. So it's 100% true for the widespread awareness, social media, internet is coming in our hands.
So now, just give me a minute. So I have a question for you. So with proliferation of social media and you take any other online publishing platform for that matter, so how do you see this concept of regional e-sellers? Homegrown celebrities who are coming out of their individual talent in their regional languages, coming out of nowhere. It's like me, you, any other person sitting down here. They are writing something, expressing themselves on social media, and they are getting mass attention, right? So how do you see this content creation happening on social media and online publishing platform, and how do you see the trend going forward?
Yeah, so one is the mass publishing by anybody and everybody. So Era Gera Nathu Kera writing a poem or a story and calling himself or herself as the author, there's a big risk. And that's where I look up to Pratilipi or I look up to a Shally.com to play a responsible role of the mediator. And when you publish it on these platforms, there's a degree of authenticity that adds to it. Because otherwise you will see anybody writes a short story, So I remember after Terribly Tiny Tales, the TTT version became very popular. Everybody became a short story writer, and the depth was somewhere lacking. So that's where portals like Syahi and Pratilipy I look up to, and they play a big role. So very soon the world will be able to filter out, like right now how the black money is getting filtered out. Right now, very soon we'll filter out good versus bad content, because social media's risk factor is it gives a lot of rise to mediocrity, and that's what is not right. Mediocrity in literature is something which we should not be appreciating of, but it will soon get sorted.
I would like to say one thing. When you write, why you write? When you write for the public, for the mass, for the readers who are going to read you. And when you publish it on social media, they are going to read it. Where is the need to monitor all these things? First thing. But when you are publishing it in a journal, in a magazine, in a newspaper, you require a moderator, an editor to edit these things or to accept the things which are given to you for publication. Now the problem is most of the times the editors online editors I am talking about, most of the times they don't have the capacity to judge the contents because they are or they belong to one field, one form of literature. Suppose they know ghazal, they know how to edit or how to accept or how to publish, what to publish in their magazines. First thing. Suppose they know if the editor knows that he is a lyricist or he has interest in lyrics, then he can publish those things. Suppose he has interest in short story or he knows the history of the story, history of story or history of novels, then he can give platform to those people. But most of the times one man is playing the role of all the editors in his magazine or in his journal or online e-magazine. So that is a problematic case, one thing. Second thing is that when we talk about social media, publish, the readers are enjoying. And when you comment, if you comment, you put your comment or you criticize something, there is no one to support you. Very few people come out and they support you. I know there is a very renowned, celebrated poet among us sitting here, Mr. Ramakant. He is a lyricist, he is from Raebareli. He is the only person, the only lyricist in India, I say this thing, who started debate on Facebook on lyrics. But when he started, I supported, a few others supported him in his criticism, and in the beginning a few people came out, but after some time when the second criticism was given by him or he wrote something on the poetry of some other poet, then there was a lobby. They were lobbying and they were not making any comment on those posts. So the critic or the genuine author who is writing is not appreciated in the way or in the manner he should be appreciated. Only wow, thank you very much, we appreciate. And when the critic writes, this is not right, or this lacks this thing, or this is required this type of amendment, then he is also given no support. He is given no support at that moment. So this is very, very painful, I think.
Sir, I'm sorry, I would like to barge in between. My viewpoints slightly differ from Madam yours, because as you rightly said, for any magazine, for that matter, for any book or for any sort of a fixed system, there you need a moderator, right? Who can edit content, who can moderate the content, who can curate the content, more or less the same thing. But when you talk about a platform, right? The basic purpose of a platform is to reach out to a person who has ever thought of writing first time, right? That's the role of a platform, right? That you are giving a platform to that individual who has listened to someone narrating something and he wanted to write something and he is coming here, he is signing up and he is started writing. So that's what, yeah, for that matter, see, so second point, when they say that, people people judge and when they comment some way, they comment some other way, that's there, it's going to be there, but at least your content is getting, it's read by people.
I agree. Your content is read by the public. But the question is, if you are going to form a kind of literature there, useful literature. What is literature? Literature, if it is useful, then it can be called literature. If it is not useful, it is bogus, it is out of...
Yes, sir. Sir, I totally agree to your point. So the only thing what I am trying to mention is...
And one thing. And if you write something and that is not useful, that is not included in the category of literature, then what would happen? After the next moment they would forget after making comment. You can see that when a picture is posted on social media, and if it is posted, then if picture is something that is, we can say that posted by a woman, suppose, I am not against the woman, okay, women, suppose a woman post a picture on the Facebook, okay, she gets 200, 500 likes, okay, 1,000 likes, and when a man, or we can say that the author,
I understand your point. Mr. Jena, Mr. Jena wants to add something.
I would like to add a point. As you said that online content that have also some demerits. Just like print content has also some demerits, because all the content that doesn't mean to everyone. Because because I belong to print media, I have some 8 years experience in print journalism. So whatever I observe in my experience, I point out that whenever we write something, we never target any certain masses. We write what our organization needs. In sometimes we also try to fill out the spaces. That also I would like to say, as you read the point that online content has some demerits. That's why I read the point.
Yeah, okay, fine. Sir,
So, quickly responding to your notion of platform being given as an opportunity to aspiring writers, nothing wrong in that. That is where the platform defines its being as I'm a platform who will encourage aspiring writers. You are known for that. So there is a Kadak Meethi chai available in Wagh Bakri, there is a Patti chai available in Wagh Bakri, there is a green tea available, there is an organic tea available, nothing wrong in that. So if Pratilipi stands for giving rise to regional content, giving rise to aspiring writers, nothing wrong in that, but there you define your soul of being, your purpose of being as being someone who will encourage new, aspiring, experimentative writers, but that is not what another platform would like to vouch for, because they are differentiating based on mature content. So I think there we are very clear. I am not, totally with you.
So just one more point. The thing is that these platforms are basically ran by entrepreneurs who are may or may not have literature background. So they don't have capacity to judge which is a good content or bad content. This is the honest fact. And Shally might agree, and we have Mahendra as well from Ahmedabad here. So we have Shally Modi and Ahmedabad are three big players right now in the regional market. And the problem we face as a platform is that I have to find good editors. And because we are startups, we have limitations of funding. And these issues are fairly critical. And we go and ask, like when we go to the Gujarat government to ask funding, or like when we go to venture capitalists to ask funding. But we have to invest in technology at the same time as well. So these issues are so critical that if we don't resolve these issues, and what we are talking right now is very futuristic. We are very infancy stage right now. So it's very hard to predict where we're going to go with this. But there is a responsibility of content provider and a content platform itself. And the platform is not equipped right now completely to filter out the content. And that's a major issue. And yesterday we had a fascinating discussion about not just literature, but language as well. So while we are promoting content, are we also into a language? Do we speak Gujarati, or do we speak Hindi, or do we speak Marathi at home? That's the first question. And if we do, and we do have reading habits, then we're going to go online and read good content. Good content comes, it's a second question. First is anybody going to read the content first? And that's a huge discussion we had yesterday, and you missed it, but that had the conclusion that it's important to promote language and speak language at home and read language, our own language.
On the same, Sanket, I have another question. So, if you see the global trends, right? So, if we are talking about now print media, how it goes parallel with digital media. So you have seen that. So all of us we have seen that in India since 2013, print media has gone with 5 to 7% CAGR, right? Up to 2020, it is expected to grow at 19%. Same way, digital media is expected to grow at 25 to 28% by 2020. Now, how do you see? Are they killing each other? They are going in parallel? They are how the trends are moving?
I'm not a big believer in e-books. I don't see there's a future in e-books, and I've spent 15 years of my life in England. And still in England, I see 50-50 divide. Still in England. Everybody has a Kindle or there is an iPad. But there's like this feel of book in hand. So if you're traveling in a train or tube, you will find people with a book, not a Kindle. And I don't see India coming to that level in the next at least 10-15 years. So I'm not a big believer that there's going to be e-books. And I personally don't read e-books. I don't know that I'm in this paper, I don't read e-books. I find it very, anyways, I have reading problems and I find it very boring. It's very difficult.
I think just what you said, I totally confirm with that, and I believe I was talking to a few readers doing a dipstick study on online versus offline as a preparation for this panel, and one conclusion which I derived was that people who have a flirtatious relationship with reading, they would anyways read any platform, but people who are in a committed relationship with reading, they still love the smell of the book and the page. A one-night stand versus being in a lifelong committed give and take relationship. That's the difference.
So Sanket, on that, please have one. So
her last name is Modi, that's why I'm looking for it.
Okay, so by nature, I think I am in the first category because I can't read without finger. Yeah, I am in the first category in that. Coming back to you, if you talk about infrastructure, right?
Sure.
Let's start with smartphone. So currently, out of 350 people who actually have internet subscribers, though they are internet subscribers in India, out of that, 167 million own smartphone. They are actually having smartphone they serve, right? So looking at the data, how smartphone itself are expanding and it's spreading, it's penetrating across India. Smartphone first. Jio and other network operators are spreading wings, and they are also into picture all the way. So with all these things, do you see that? I mean, digital publishing is going to make some difference?
No, I don't, because it's like, that ad, Dabba hai tera TV Dabba. So you got a big TV, but you don't have that set-up box. So that's the internet connectivity. And that's a huge problem. So I see students here, just speaking to a couple of people, they don't own their data. They switch off data for a while and they on the data. So then to read that material online constantly, it's very difficult. I don't see that.
Yeah. So according to you, once the internet connectivity is in flow, then probably it might work out.
Absolutely.
In spite of all odds, but it has been increasing from years, because recently from a social media we made a study here at Odisha. We found that at least 17% of youth masses, they are using smartphones, having access to online. And whereas in the other hand, at least 73% they involved in print contents. So definitely the trend increasing, that implies that a greater trend ahead for the online content.
One thing, when you say I love Kindle or you say I don't like e-book, I find one thing, that is very important. You don't have all the contents in the form of e-books on internet. Okay, you may have one title in e-book form or one content in e-book form, but in printing we have several authors, several copies
That's
on
where
the
the content creation part comes into the picture, right? That's where the next tier is coming into the picture, right?
That is coming, but that is not the present situation. We are talking about the present situation. Okay, first thing. Second thing is that when you go to internet, you can have general information. Sometimes you want to make some research, but you can get general information on internet. For specific research or important or significant research, you have to go to the library and you have to find out the books there. So we have the importance of print media still.
Sir, I'm not declaring that.
Okay. And second thing, one point is raised by Madam that Pratilipi is giving platform to the aspiring author. Oh, let us take the example. I can also take this example for my comments. So, if you are giving the platform, very good. There are so many other platforms too. But we are talking, when we talk about social media like Facebook, Twitter, we find that there is no moderator, there is no editor there. We talk this thing about that time. Okay, so what the audience is confused when he reads or that the audience reads the things given on the Facebook or Twitter. The audience doesn't know what is important and what is not important, what is significant, what is not significant, what is useful, what is not useful, what is literature and what is just a fun. And one thing, one minute. Second thing is that there are so many authors. I am not talking about aspiring authors. I am talking about all the authors. They are genuine authors, and there are some other authors who are not genuine. Their concept is not genuine, but they are also presenting their ideas here. And the audience does not know who is the genuine author and who is the fake author. Okay? So that is the biggest problem on Facebook or social media.
Sir, so all your concerns are extremely valid and I completely agree with the concerns raised, but would make sense if the topic of the panel discussion was whether social media writing is official writing, is being taken as authentic writing or not. That's why I feel we should go back to the main topic of our discussion.
You talk about social media, why we talk about social media? Okay. We are talking about the literature published there. Language is also part of literature. Language is a tool of communication. So you can't exclude this thing. Okay? And if you are talking about Pratilipi and giving the example of Pratilipi, you are publishing literature there. And you say that we are not talking about the authenticity of literature.
I would like to answer to that, sir. Sir, for me and for all other, I think 1.27 billion population of India, what we think is, if you have written a single line of your own, you are a writer. You are not a writer who is well renowned. You have been appreciated by people. But if you are coming out something on your own, that is your creativity, that's your copyright, right?
If you write one line and you say that you are a writer, technically you are a writer. Okay? Nobody can deny it. But when we put that line in our literature, then we would find that it is useful or not useful. Okay? So, in communication, what we find, we teach communication, we say that a specific message is passed from one party to another party. Each and every line can't be specific. Each and every line can't be literature. Okay? And if you write each and everything, then you may be a writer like Tom, Dick and Harry. Nobody is going to recognize you.
Well, these are our perception, our views differ. Madam, I would like to want to.
No, I was just saying that digressing so that we will come back to online.
Yeah. So, well, I have one question for you guys. You are, have this wonderful expertise in social media and you have been observing the consumption pattern on digital content. So, I would like like to raise a question there. So how do you see an average consumer who's consuming online content, right? How their pattern of consumption differs from a pattern of consumption of an offline video?
Thank you. I was waiting for this question. So, based on the reading of consumer behavior, and that's where my expertise comes from, marketing, advertising, consumer behavior. If you want to look at how online leadership is growing and amongst whom it's growing amongst a consumer population who is cash rich on one hand, but is time poor on the other. So, it's cash rich and time poor consumers are moving towards reading more online. There's a sizable population which is on the move. So on the move population is switching to online because it's promising them great deal of convenience. And of course the rural atmosphere mein, people who are smartphone users, heavy users, who have shifted to everything online only because it is promising them convenience at the end of the day, be it vegetable shopping, be it paying off my utility bills, be it reading newspapers, be it reading my books on Kindle. So there are three types of consumers that I've identified. One who is on the go, second who is shifting because of convenience, third who is cash rich but is extremely time poor. These three types of people have shifted to more and more online reading.
Yeah, ma'am, I would like to say that you can't compare online shopping and online content.
Yeah, she asked about online content.
You can't compare online shopping and online.
The question was about how consumption pattern.
Yeah, my point.
Not comparing.
Yeah, my
So
point.
what essentially she tried to make a point here is, when you are traveling, when you are in heavy traffic, you are consuming a content. Right? When you are in a bed,
No, let me clarify. I'm not comparing. I'm saying, even though I will love the experience of going to the shop and feeling the material of the sari before buying it, but I'm buying it online because I'm cash rich, time poor, because of convenience promised. I'm shopping online. Similarly, I'm reading online.
Yeah, right.
For the convenience, I'm not comparing it.
For the convenience, that is right, online shopping is right, okay. But online content is concerned, as you said that everyone is turning towards online content, that is not true. Because only youth jobs, they are using smartphones and they just look at the headlines. Whatever coming, they don't go for the matter. But when the print content or offline content is concerned, everyone is our serious readers, they go details
So
to the...
that's exactly how the pattern of consumption differs. Last question to you. I have last 2 minutes left. So last question to you, ma'am. So how do you, where in all this picture of print media and digital media and creating content, consuming content, how do you see youth playing a part? You know the latest example, keep in synchronization with this example, the Japanese comedian who published this 45 seconds video of PPAP and it went out. So it's not youth, but how this content reaching out to mass. So how do you see youth is playing role in digital world?
So youth is a big mass of this demographic today, so we can't ignore them, that's for a fact. And youth is all sitting on smart technology, they are adapting their formats to the mobile technology, and they are the ones who are the 30-second generation. They are the instant generation, they want everything in instant. So for example, if any content you give them in a visual format, they will just love it. So they love infographics, they love data, they love charts. So youth now formats which are crisp in nature, which they can grasp in a second, which are mobile adaptable, and that's why, but we cannot ignore this segment, and that's why the AIB kind of a content or a TRF kind of a content, or when Malika Dua is posting a video on Instagram, it goes viral, because it is customized for the consumption of the youth.
So you're saying the short form content plays well?
Yeah, short and crisp.
Summing up the entire discussion, would you like to add anything, sir?
I think so Falguni will be better placed to include. Just, okay. I believe our discussion is a little very subjective, and come to conclusion is very difficult. We are far away from conclusion right now. I think we are just small steps, particularly Shally or Manoj. We are first steps, and we need support from not only writers but the readers as well to come and join the platform. Maybe not leave platforms like Facebook or Twitter who are promoting whatever content, but come and join, because we market and we spend a lot of man hours heavily marketing our content as well. So I think it's a two-way thing now. Platforms are there, but we need support from leaders and writers as well at the same time. And then I think so we can discuss next year, year after, like, where we're going in the path of beauty.
Youth is youth. We should love them. We should bless them. We should salute them. Jai Hind.
I just want to make one observation. I'm sorry I walked in a bit late, so I didn't really listen to the first part of the discussion. And you'll pardon me if I was commenting on something which I was not, I did not have the benefit of listening to. Well, I personally feel that, we can't decide, the technology is way ahead of us and the youth are way ahead of us, so they will be online even if we don't want to, whether we like it or not. And it's going to happen. And if it's going to happen, we might as well make sure that the content that is quality content, so they need to have a greater editorial supervision to make sure that the material that is being fed online is what you would like to call as literature, so that we are sure that we're feeding the right kind of content to the younger generation, But I certainly have a certain reservation with regard to the online content being made available to the children. It's fine with adult literature.
To the children.
If my daughter is reading something which I don't have control on, and she is 11, then I certainly have concern as to what is being offered to her, whether it has editorial supervision, whether it is rightly marked for her age or not, and whether there is a degree of regulation that is being applied. Because as a parent, I have a right to, till she becomes an adult, decide what kind of literature she should be offered to read. And whether today I am able to do that sufficiently or not through online is a valid concern. So those who are in this field as of today owe a responsibility to our children to make sure that there is a degree of regulation, self-regulation, and a greater degree of regulatory supervision on the content, so that we ensure that the right kind of material is being created.
So that type of foundation is definitely should be there. I totally agree with you.
मैं इसी बात को आगे ले जाना चाहता हूँ. SCI is there and Falguni ma'am is there and my fellow colleagues are there in audience who are running online portals and this activity. मेरी डिबेट भी होती रहती है बहुत सारे लोगों पे यही बात पे कि कंटेंट को कैसे फिल्टर किया जाता है, क्योंकि मैंने एक ऑनलाइन ऐप देखे जिसमें अगर मैं नॉवेल्स देखता हूँ तो उसका टाइटल ही होता है कि इस रात की सुबह नहीं है या मैं वो रात भूल नहीं पा रही हूँ. मुझे देख के ही ऐसा लगता है यार इसमें कुछ मजा आएगा. बट व्हेन माय सन गोज फॉर दैट एप्लीकेशन इट इज फ्री टू ऑल एंड व्हाट वुड बी द इम्पैक्ट. और क्या आप लोग अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ऐसा कुछ फिल्टरेशन रखते हैं कि सर आपने बहुत वैलिड क्वेश्चन उठाया था कि वेदर इट इज अ लिटरेचर और जस्ट अ फन. एज एन ऑथर मैं आया आपके पास और मैंने बोला कि मेरा ये 10,000 वर्ड्स का एक स्टोरी है. ओह यू आर वेलकम. व्हाट इज द टाइटल? ओह दैट ग्लोरीफाइड नाइट. ओके हमने उसको प्रिंट कर दिया, पब्लिश कर दिया. तो आपके पास कुछ ऐसा मैकेनिज्म है जो आप फिल्टर करते हो?
सर आई वुड लाइक टू ओके फाइन सर.
Yeah, please Sanket.
As Shally.com, we don't publish such content. We don't. We have a very strong editorial team, so we don't. And also, just to be member of Shally.com, you need to be about 60 or 70. We don't go below that age. So no. If you log on to Shally.com, you have to register first.
This is a general question. It's not particularly for Shally. It's a general question.
I'll just give you and I'm sure there are filters in place with all the other platforms.
See what is happening. Being the author, अगर मेरी कोई ऑनलाइन आ गई एक बुक, तो what I am doing as an author, मैं 50 लोगों को पकड़ता हूँ, एप्लीकेशन फोर्सफुली डाउनलोड करवाता हूँ और फिर बोलता हूँ ये पढ़िए, ये पढ़िए, ये पढ़िए, ये पढ़िए. फायदा ऐप ओनर को होता है और जब ऐप ओनर से मेरी बात होती है तो बोलता है भैया मैं तो बिजनेस कर रहा हूँ. आई एम नॉट कंसर्न विद कि क्या छप रहा है क्या नहीं छप रहा. सो आई हैव गॉट दिस आंसर.
Application owner is saying that he is doing any business while he is asking the author go and make 50 downloads out of this business. I mean, how the particular business owner is going to make any business out of it? Out of leadership. Exactly, I'm talking about, sir. So, I don't know about other portals. If I talk about my portal, Pradeshji.com, it's I totally agree. I'm answerable to what I know about, right? What I am related to. Yeah. So, your two questions I want to answer. I'm sorry, being a moderator, I'm answering your question. Yeah. So, first question you raised that literature, how you filter literature? How you say that any single story which is written down on the platform is a literature, right? How you say that that's a fantastic literature, one should based on what's time reading, right? So I would like to answer your question saying that we have an author called Manoj on our platform, which the person who does not have any social media account at all, right? Now that person has started publishing with Pratilipi on the day, first month of when we launched, back 2 years back. And currently on Pratilipi, after Premchand, which belongs to classic category, Manmohan Bhatte is the most well-read author on Pratilipi, right? So that's how readers define, that's how readers choose that what they want to read, what they don't want to read, right? Let's assume that if somebody is writing a story which is not worth spending time, right? A reader is reading that story first time. Second time, that reader knows that this type of writer is only going to write such stories. I am not going to read the author again. That's how readers judge, right? And that's what essentially we provide as a platform, that readers are the ones who's going to choose whether what should they read and what should they read.
Brief answer to your notion was very right. You will go ahead, 50,000 downloads, right? Now from the strategic perspective, brands do that all the time. They buy followers, they ask people to like, but that's a tactic, that's never a strategy. So it will live for a short time, but it will never have a long shelf life. Never. Tactic and strategy are very different.
Talking about the time period, you just said long and short. So talking about the time period, I'm very interested because being a journalist, all my life, especially in the last 7 to 8 years, one has only heard in newspapers, बहुत जल्दी बंद हो जाएंगे, everything is online, you have apps today, children, school, college, everybody is reading news on the app and all. But I somehow always still believe that the books and newspapers and all will never die. However, I myself have taken to online content as well. I often get to read news now online. Yeah. I am not looking for the next day's newspaper to read certain things. So I just want to know, from the online people, that do you feel that newspapers and actual study material now will die?
I think you walked in late, but my point was the same.
I was not here in the early part, but I want to know the opinion of you and all.
Sure. I believe that offline content providers are now going to die. I always want to read a book, and online things run parallel. I give an example of England, where still after so many years there's a big divide. So India is going to take a lot of time. Forget about the infrastructure issues and all that, but just the reading habits we are not cultivating. And the second thing, the thing is that we on the go reading, we don't have comforts in on the go reading. So for example, if I'm in a train or if I'm traveling in Mumbai, for example, local or something like that, I can't read like this, and stuff. So there are a lot of other issues as well, social issues which will take time will take some time to overcome. But I completely agree with you, concur with you, it will not happen.
So offline will also be
absolutely.
Yeah, I would like to answer your question. So what we see here, what digital publishing is doing, right? When we talk about online content, I think it itself is expanding reader base. It's not converting offline readers to online readers. Those people who are wasting their time on playing Candy Crush, they have actually started consuming some content, be it news, be it short stories, be it joke, be it shiny. And that's the conversion we are talking about. And so digital and print media are going in parallel. That's what I feel.
Thank you so much. It has indeed been an absolutely invigorating session. We would like to present.
One minute, please. In literary language, I would like to tell you a share of Ramakant ji. रोशनी है मगर अंधेरा है, आजकल का यही सवेरा है.
Can I have Jena please present the mementos to our honored guests?